Sings is an organization that pairs professional songwriters with veterans.
They tell us their stories, we turn them into songs.
So this is an event where 5 songwriters from Nashville, myself included, gathered where we sit down and we write songs with VA nurses.
These are people who served in combat and then came home and became nurses at the VA.
They wanted our songwriters to work with the nurses, get their stories, do an album, and it will go to the VAs across the country.
Music it's a spiritual thing to me. It's like ever since I was a little boy, I've been attracted to music. It's just a spiritual, universal thing that people gravitate to.
When you start writing a song, they quit thinking about, should I say this or not? And they just get all caught up in the writing.
So when the guitar comes out, we start playing the song and singing the words of the veteran. I think it's just amazing to me to see the smiles come back out.
These things are always just such an honor. I hope, it's giving back and being able to say thank you to some of our proud veterans. But it's such a pleasure for me to just listen and listen and listen and listen to them pour their hearts out about what they did in the service. And many of them feel like they don't even have a story that's worth telling, but they do.
My name's Michelle Dolan. I currently work at the Charles George VA Medical Center in Asheville, North Carolina. It's easier, I think, sometimes to just sit down with a random stranger and start talking about your military past.
It was fun hanging with Michelle, and she started telling me about this little girl. Her name was Zahara. Ain't that a pretty name, Zahara?
He was like, this is your story. She was sacrificed in battle. She was injured, and we treated her and we let her go.
After you were sacrificed.
After you were sacrificed. We healed your wounds.
Saved your life.
I like that. We healed your wounds. Living your life like you are in my heart, Zahara, right?
Her family knew that when we let her go, the Taliban were going to come after them again. So that always sticks with me.
I've seen grown soldiers cry. A chaplain wanting to take his own life, but Zahara, you're what's on my mind. Just an innocent child. I think of you then and I think of you now, Zahara, when I close my eyes. Zahara, I pray you're alright. I hope you're out there somewhere dancing somewhere tonight, all grown up, pretty as you are, living your life like you are in my heart, Zahara. Oh, Zahara. After you were sacrificed, we healed your wounds and saved your life, Zahara. Then we sent you home. You didn't want to go. You'd be fighting for your life. We know, Zahara. How could we leave you all alone? Zahara, I pray you're alright. I hope you're out there dancing somewhere tonight, all grown up, pretty as you are, living your life like you are in my heart, Zahara. Oh, Zahara, hear my prayer, Zahara.
We all came here with a million stories. For me, Will was able to take just one of my million and focus on that and put that into words.
Wow.
My name's Rachel Blankenship. I served in the Army for 3 years. I'm a nurse. I've been with the VA since 2017. So I'm pretty nervous. When I first found out about it, I thought I was gonna have to sing. And now I really would not even describe myself as like creative at all. Then I was like, oh, I played clarinet in 4th grade. Yeah, that's it.
I fell in love with Rachel the minute I heard her laugh. You know, which is kind of a little bit where this song is going. She's got a contagious laugh. I kind of like that thought, about, that you have to laugh so you can cope.
Yeah, humor is a way, I think, whenever I was in the military, that we deal with trauma and stuff.
So we tried to capture a little bit of that in her song here too, so. Medic in the Army, a year in Iraq. Hell, I've operated on a goat. When they needed lifeguards, I was voluntold. I learned to laugh so I can cope. Been on a gun truck, been scared to death. I've tagged and bagged some precious souls. Got hazed by a female sergeant, did what I was told, and I learned to laugh so I could cope. I've held the hands of the wounded and the hurt. I've been on call and been there first, and I've seen a lot of things that most people won't. I learned to laugh so I can cope. Yeah, I've seen a lot of things, thank God most people won't. I learned to laugh so I could cope.
You have this kind of dark humor with this group of people that you have this shared experience with that other people would probably find really morbid and cruel.
Rachel's song.
But you have to kind of make light of things, otherwise you would just be depressed, right? Laughter can be the best medicine, and in the emergency room where people are at on, probably the worst day of their life in tremendous pain and going through it. Sometimes what you gotta do is make them laugh and make light of the situation. Thanks again, everyone.
God bless all you nurses.
My name is Shawn Donald. I'm an infection prevention nurse, and I'm a 23-year military veteran. I love music. I love music. I do not sing, I do not play an instrument, but I love music. Basically, I want to be very present and just let the process unfold.
So we had a good day. We talked a lot. We covered a lot. Shawn's career in military service is just incredible. And the things that she had to see and experience just blew me away.
The doc was here and I was here. We're working on him. And then they went to roll him. They're intubating. We went to roll him and I looked down and the whole thing, he was just laying in blood. And I nudged the doc beside me and he looked. And I looked at him and he looked at me and he called it. Put him in our little morgue and went back to work. Put it in the box. Those are the kind of things that go in the box.
Little man, 8 years old, I sang Amazing Grace to help him sleep. He hummed it back through war-torn lips. He was my charge, but not to keep. We said a prayer for another soul, standing on a cold, hard concrete slab. The years have flown, but the memories stay, and the quiet hours when I look back. Then the box comes out and I see every face, untold stories, lives we couldn't save. And when it gets too hard, it takes a kindred heart to know the pain can go away and make the hurting stop. what's in the box.
I did go through a very dark place after I left the military. I felt like I could just disappear. Never called it suicide, but I just wanted to I could just drift away. I could just drift away. Nobody would ever notice.
And then the box comes out, and I see every face. Untold stories, lives we couldn't say. And then it gets too hard. It takes a kindred heart to know the pain and go away and make the hurting stop and hear what's in the box. And hear what's in the box.
You don't have to be a veteran as a nurse to have these stories, because we live them every single day. Every day we take care of our patients. We have to put that someplace, and we have to put them in a box.
My name is Serena Hallbrook. I'm a registered nurse with the Visinate Clinical Contact Center, and I'm also an Army veteran. They were like, we're gonna make a song. I was like, how? I have no creative bone in my body. What? But then I met Bill. He looked at me and he said, it's gonna work out. We got this.
So, first of all, I had to pull everything out of Serena. She just doesn't talk much. And she, now we got about 10 or 20 or 50 song ideas at the time we were done, but we only had time to write one. And I guess, two things came out of it. Basically, when we were talking was, she was sharing her life experience, and she just jumped into a whole bunch of stuff. She just, let's just do it. It's time to do it. And the other one was just overcoming tough circumstances and adversity to succeed in the end.
I didn't follow the typical path. I didn't meet the typical criteria, but I had a lifelong mission to help as a nurse. And that mission was fortified through the United States Army.
I was a 1.7 with the 4.0s, holding it together in a broken home, counting on my dreams and stretching dollars. Ain't no doubt that old self-doubt's one mean son of a gun. I stared down the barrel called 1,000,000 to 1, and I was the one that jumped on in. The hell's high water, sink or swim. Yeah, if there's a chance, I'll step up and take it. The one on my knees praying to God, standing up to fight the odds. The one they said wasn't gonna make it. But man, I made it.
Still feel like it's magic. Not sure how he did it, even though I was in the room with him.
I'm Patrick Ragland. I'm a VA ER nurse manager at the Des Moines VA. I was an Army medic for combined 22 years. I'm a little nervous. I don't normally talk to people about things.
So let's start from the very beginning and just get your life in sequence, all right?
I got in a lot of trouble, I had to get myself out of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things my brother and I and my sister did that, we always talk about new things that come up that we don't know about each other. We did.
I knew if I was gonna survive. I knew if I was gonna survive. I had to learn to fight.
Gonna?
I knew if I was gonna survive.
Let's do a Nashville Gonna.
So I started running toward trouble. I knew if I was going to survive, I had to learn to fight.
Yeah.
Closing the distance on life.
You want that to end the
Maybe.
song?
I don't know.
End the verse?
I'm not sure how it sounds, but...
Well, let's see how it sounds. I put a chip on my shoulder, but I never let it get me down. Mama taught us self-reliance, Daddy never was around. So I started running toward trouble, closing the distance on life. I had to teach myself to fight if I was gonna survive. Learning to be a soldier is where I was reborn. Baptized in the fire, tempered by the storm. In life or death situations, when lives are in your hands, you gotta be calm in the chaos and be more than just a man.
Well, my life has been a culmination of serving other people in one way or another. So I'm in the first vehicle, I hear a single round go off, and the guy next to me in the turret, he slumps over. Within about a millisecond, it was like raining ammo on us. An RPG hit our vehicle. I pull him over the top of me, and I'm just like covered in his blood. I grab my bag and I run back down the road that we just came out of. Because all I heard was them calling for a medic. Bullets whizzing by your head, and you could see it in the movies, medic, and then you go running. And here is another friend of mine. He's on the ground. They got him out of the vehicle already. His arm is really just connected by one artery. That's the only thing that was holding it on there. So I'm like, trying to control his bleeding and doing all this stuff. One of the other vehicles that really got hammered pulls up and it's on fire. They're like yelling it's gonna blow, and smoke is everywhere. And from there, my focus was saving his life.
Driving Humvees in a valley, rockets raining down, wounded screaming medic, and blood on the ground. So I started running toward trouble, trying to save a life. Heard the call of selfless service when I knew I was gonna die. Learning to be a soldier is where I was reborn. Baptized in the fire, tempered by the storm. In life or death situations, when lives are in your hands, you gotta be calm in the chaos and be more than just a man.
I became emotional, and a lot of that was because I'm still alive today, and when I didn't think I was gonna survive. I carried a lot of survivor's guilt. I was very honored to receive a Bronze Star for Valor in Combat, but I didn't save everybody for a long time. I never really talked about that award with anybody. I was recognized essentially for what I thought was just doing the job that the Army had asked me to do.
The commitment of VA nurses is a life of selfless service.
Well, the experience has been absolutely amazing, therapeutic.
It truly is transformative. I am not the same employee I was on Monday.
It was an opportunity to receive therapy without going to therapy.
So it allowed me to kind of revisit some things that I, have been avoiding for a long time.
This is just a way for you to talk to someone and then create a work of art for you to have for you.
I can play my song whenever I need to. I will have it forever.
Music heals, right? It heals us. It's so good at relating, and you hear your story in that song and how it can change you.
But I think there's also something very healing in hearing your song in another song and relating to it.
I think there's healing in my story for other people to hear that may inspire them to do something, go get help or talk to somebody else, or even become a part of a program like this. We all know music is very therapeutic, but it's on another level when it's your music.
It's just life-changing.